They're very big.
Following us everywhere.
You get off quite easily.
I think especially when people start cleaning and their family are like looking at them through the window and it's like, more pictures. So if your arm's aching, you can, whenever you want to, put it down or put the extra bowls out. Sometimes people stand there forever. Oh, my arms. That one goes in. Oh, they have.
Now these training techniques we offer are always really useful. Means we're able to keep on top of the field health, as well as people stay on medical reasons to show them what's wrong. So it's very important we do this. Another training technique we offer after our first basically, and they have been known to eat black super penguins. There are dinosaurs are from the same area as our black super penguins. They're from the coast of South Africa. Although it was not being weather, so it was all tempted pretty chilly. There are currents that rush off the Antarctic. So we all tend to can drop in more during the 3rd degree centigrade. So our dinosaurs have that choice of stay nice and warm. They can have a few different ways. There are also leather fit in most of them. So we also got 2 layers of fur, prior to the first series. The second layer is a protective layer, to help keep the skin nice and dry. What's that? Crocodile.
That was the fun of it.
Make cricket bats, right? Yeah. Oh, hello. Hello.
Baby one in there, the kookaburras. It was born on the 10th of August.
Dad, look at that! I need to get close to this.
Just find all these sauces. Come back. Scarlet over. Ooh, yeah.
Unfortunately, once you have a child, that's it.
The largest species. And they come from northern Kenya and Ethiopia, and surprisingly are quite endangered in the wild. Let's take a look at some of the owls now. On the right, coming up, we've got a spectacled owl. It's not named after me, but if you have a look at its face, you can see why it gets called a spectacled owl. They come from South America. And then in the last area on the right, you can see our two Huron owls.
And on the other side, side is free.
Cool.
Yeah.
I thought I'd send something this time.
Hang on, come back. Where?
They're 2-year-old females. They're African cheetahs. Now, there are two types of cheetah in the world, the African, like these guys, and the extremely rare Asiatic cheetah. Once upon a time they were found all the way down from South India, over into the Middle East, into Africa, where the biggest population of cheetahs are now. But there's still a very few amount of the Asiatic cheetah in Iran, only around 40, so particularly endangered. The rest are found over in Africa, where these guys relatives would be from, and so they occupy the savanna grassland areas. Makia! Yeah, and Kalima. There we go. So, yeah, it's all about speed with these guys. They are, you probably know, they're the fastest land animal. They can reach speeds of up to around 70 miles per hour, and get about 65 miles per hour, which is almost 100 kilometres per hour, in just 3 seconds. Now it takes a Ferrari 4 seconds to reach that speed from standing, so these are really, really well built for speed, and in comparison, Ferrari's a little bit pathetic, I think. But if you have a look at the two, they've got those lovely long legs. They can achieve a jump up to 10 metres when they're at their fastest, so they can cover a lot of distance in a short amount of time. And what they'll be eating out there in the wild would be things like Thompson gazelle, young zebra. They'd eat smaller prey such as hares, other mammals as well, if all the other stuff's not available. But they're very fast animals that they'll be chasing too, so they do need to be able to keep up with them. They've got really flexible shoulder blades, so they can do lots of twists and turns to keep up with the animals as they try to outmaneuver them. They've also got quite a flexible spine, and they can store energy in that spine. They can use it a bit like an archer's bow, so when they're running, it can be quite curved, and then they can spring it out and release it by about 11%, and that'll give them a surge of power and speed. They've also got those claws, which you can see from this side. I'll throw a bit over and you might be able to spot their claws. Now cats can actually usually retract their claws. We've got a pet cat. Sometimes when they're relaxed they don't have their claws out at all. But the cheetah is the only cat that can't fully retract their claws. Let's give them another piece. Get a little bit impatient now. Kalima, you're going to go for this first. Kalima! Good girl. Nakia! There we go. So they can't fully retract their claws, but that helps them because when they're running, it gives them a bit of traction on the ground. Have you played football or done athletics?
No, they're leopards. They're not lions.
How long has she been going to play? Well, I think I told you before you got on, that you're going to have to take 5 things on. Well, the train's not running yet, you know.
Redneck Sarima. That's sometimes called crested Sarima, which is also rather strange because in the local dialect, where they come from in South America, Sarima means crested. Because animals will eat all sorts of things that they shouldn't. Even human beings eat all sorts of things that they shouldn't. But at least you've got a choice whether you do it or not. These guys, if they do, it can play havoc with their digestive system. But if we can get her to go for a bit of a run, it's amazing how those legs work. Quick as you like. Da-da-da. Now when people see her running around, they do tend to think that her legs work forwards, whereas when she bends, it's going the other way, isn't it? But that's because what you're looking at is actually her ankle. So if I lift my foot up, and you can see the direction of my ankle, you can't see the rest of this bit because it's all hidden away. That's how birds work. So it's actually their ankle, not their knee. Now, bird of prey flying display, not a bird of prey, not flying. So I can see why some of you might be slightly disappointed. She can fly, and we'll see if we can get her to take off and show she's got a full set of wings. They leap out of the pampas grasses and catch small insects and insects and small birds for a new friend to play with. And we've got two people on our bird of prey experience, so they're getting Yogi to fly sharp, but he lands on the perch, he doesn't kill it. Okay, and it's the same with my arm. Alright, it's that easy. Now, some people are surprised to see an owl flying during the day, because when we were small, certainly I was taught, that owls come out at night. There's a special word we use for animals that come out at night. You were all at primary school once, so altogether the special word for animals that come out at night is... Very good. A few people knew it, which is great. Diurnal for daytime, nocturnal for nighttime. Pretty nice to laugh at folk, isn't it? So he lands and he tries to find the piece of food. Can you see it in your fingers? You can see it. If it was right in front of your face, you'd be able to see it, but he can't. But he feels with his whiskers, and he's feeling my fingers. He's not biting and pecking, he's just feeling. When he feels the food, he takes it and he eats it. They do live in wooded areas and can fit through surprisingly small gaps. And we're going to see if we can pop himself away now. Well done. Yes, did you see he caught that? Which is amazing when you think he can't see up close. He didn't see that go, so he won't know it's there. So even if he turns round, he won't notice it, because it's keeping still. Lots of animals keep still to avoid being killed by predators. It works really, really well. If you move them out too much, you're going to be seen. So if you throw another piece of food, he comes away from this piece, because he didn't notice it. And he still won't be able to see it, because it's very well camouflaged, a bit of chicken in the grass. You might be able to see it if you knew where it went. Well, just see if we can get him to walk over this way, and see if we can get him to find it. Can you? That's it. I thought you spotted it then, didn't you? From up there, he might be able to see it. But not quite. But hooch, earth the hooch. Are you ready? Oh look, he's checking his feet, because it's usually right next to him, which it was earlier. And if he'd have done that earlier, he'd have been able to see it. But he didn't do it when it was down here. So it doesn't quite work. Which is the way it works. I'll move it for him. If we can get all 8 vultures in the air at the same time. Which is always difficult, because Veronica never wants to fly. She's been looking at the bits of food that I've been dropping for the eagle owl, and is just checking to see if there's anything else better. And it's her that's likely to come into the audience and see if you've dropped any food. The big ones aren't likely to at all. Now, just to try and show you, you've got nothing to be worried about if the little ones do come in amongst you. I'm handling this one with my bare hand without an issue. The bigger ones, though, are more of a problem because they have got a beak a bit like a bolt cropper, which isn't quite so good. The little guys need the big guys to actually unopen the dead animal before they can actually get in between the bones. So that's the way they work. They are quite magnificent in flight. In the wild, they don't fly short distances like this. They get up on a thermal, which is just a current of hot air, and they go very high looking for things that are dead. And sadly, that's really got them into trouble, most recently, because most people know about poaching of rhinos and elephants, which is terrible, but not many people know that the consequences for vultures isn't good either. Because what's happened is the poachers are getting caught because the wardens in the reserves where they are monitoring poaching watch the vultures. And if they're circling in high numbers, they know that there's a big meal to be caught. And so they rush as quickly as they can to try and find out whether it is somebody that's poaching or not. And what happened at one site in Africa, the poachers had actually laced the carcass with poison. And sadly, by the time the rangers got there, 600 vultures were dead. The trouble was, even worse than 600 that were dead, was it was during the breeding season. So that means there'll quite possibly be up to 600 chicks that have lost a parent, and they need at least 2 to be able to raise them, because it's that hard to find your dinner. And unfortunately, people really are so uninterested in vultures that many people aren't aware of what is going on with them in the wild. In fact, in September, the first Saturday in September was International...
You got the camera? Come on, you can do a picture.
It's right there, near that.
¿Viste el bebé?
How shy is the tiger? Y también hay un tigre bebé.
Mira, grande, mira hermano. Oh,
He's trying to climb up, isn't he?
Look at that water.
O sea que la mamá se cansa y llega.
Y sabes que tío Rubén y la tía Laura han dicho que no podemos pegar a
¿Pegar qué? ¿Pegarle aquí?
pero ellos son salvajes, no comen comida. Seguro que no comen nada. No comen encima.
Sí. No, ella le va a comprar un helado. Y le compré helado a los niños si quieren.
No, I care.
No,
No good.
well, because that's where we had your lunch.
No, I want to sit.
Someone wants to go to bed.
No stops then.
Play with his mummy. Pick her. Look.
Someone needs to take me away.
And then have to hide.
And then there's a target. Can you see? That's Mummy. Can you see? Life of the sun.
The target put him off the grid and offside. Look. Jumping up.
Oh.
So where is it?
See, baby. Yeah, this is baby. Mommy. Go.
That's it on the top staging. Yeah. Keeping out of the way.
This man was sitting there. Bless him. With help from Mum by the looks of it. Bang. You don't have to put your hand over your eyes. Is it? Mummy? Getting smacked round the face for trouble. That's the same one we saw from... Gone.
Themselves up. I know!
I'm Banham. Right off the camera.
Come back now, please. Right off the camera.